Around about 1999, I had a 2 CD set sent to me as a promo from Castle Music. The label's changed its name various times. And I used to have a few things, but this one was a bit of an interesting one because the Trad collection, the definitive Trad collection, 2 CD. Now, this came basically before all the Mersey sound, etc. You had trad music, and it was people like Chris Barber Jazz Band who were the big names in that. Kenny Ball and his jazzmen, Samantha, all sorts of things. Anyway, this 2 CD, it's got how many tracks on it? 44 tracks. So they're not long anyway. And from what I read years ago, the Cavern Club, before it went over to like the Beatles, etc., that used to be all trad music and so on. Anyhow, that changed as taste changed. You can't see the track list on there, can you? Now, it doesn't give you much in the way of detail, but the overview of this trad music, etc. I used to like some of it when it came on television. You'd have Kenny Ball and his jazzmen playing. Do you remember when they did that thing, the Jungle Book? I'm the King of the Jungle VIP. I think they might have actually had a hit with that. Anyhow, that came along later, and we'll come back to Kenny Ball shortly. In the notes, it says, like most jazz-related traditional jazz emanated in the States when a radio boycott in 1940 encouraged musicians to look for old out-of-copyright recordings which could be played without paying composer royalties. Oh, naughty, naughty. When the war ended and American jazz records flooded into Britain, the craze came too, and thanks to the likes of band leaders like Chris Barber, Kenny Ball and Acapelco, a boom was born. Barber's band even broke through the national chart in 1958 with Petit Fleur, a record featuring a solo clarinet of Monty Sunshine, but it was his former banjo player Lonnie Donegan who hit real pay dirt with the skiffle craze, which came along just a little bit further along. In fact, I remember Lonnie Donegan used to have a show on late on a Saturday afternoon, and I think it was on for about 30 minutes, and that was interesting. He used to do a few sort of comedic things in it as well. Here we go. What else did it say? Shaded by skiffle, trad would eventually be totally eclipsed by the early 1960s beat boom, but enjoyed one last hurrah when movie maker Dick Lester assembled a mixture of pop and jazz stars to make his first feature film, It's Trad Dad. I'm sure I've seen that. In its wake, Kenny Ball reached number 4 in Britain and number 2 in the States with Midnight in Moscow, while Acapelco did an even better with Stranger on the Shore. How could you forget that? If trad was bowing out, it was on a high, and as the music showcased here suggests, 4 decades later, it's lost none of its capacity to entertain. And it doesn't even credit who wrote those notes, which is a bit of a doodah, isn't it? Anyhow, let me tell you this. In the 60s, my brother used to go out with a young woman that lived up the road from me, because my brother is 11 years older than me, and she worked in Boots the Chemist, but I believe originally she'd been a showbiz dancer. And I do mean dancer, I don't mean anything else, connotations that might be with it. And my brother went up there to her flat late one evening, or was it? Yeah, late one evening anyway. And it was a big house near us, and lots of different people, interesting people lived in that house. And he knocked on the door, and she said, "Oh, hang on, I'll just click the door back and you can come in." Anyway, she let him in, and who should be sat there? You'll see the relevance in a minute. But Kenny Ball. And I think what had happened is he was playing in Birmingham, and he came over to see her after the show. He was probably at La Dolce Vita or somewhere like that in Birmingham, or one of the clubs. Anyway, he popped over to see her. And Sheila, as she was called, she had a pet monkey. And the pet monkey was called Ringo. And this monkey, I don't know which type, it wasn't chimpanzee, it was a smaller one than that. It was racing all around the place, according to my brother, swinging from the curtains, doing all the naughty things that you see on monkeys on TV doing, swinging about, and there, sat at the table with a mug of coffee, totally oblivious to all these antics, was Kenny Ball. And at one point, the monkey swung over and brushed Kenny Ball's hair like that. He must have wanted to touch it. Probably had Brill cream on it or something like that. And I think at that point, he took offence at that, but still. Anyway, I know no more of that evening, apart from the monkey, Kenny Ball and Sheila. And I don't know how long she kept the monkey after that, because I think he was very unpopular with other people as well. And he was also, his toilet habits probably were a little bit away. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of gossip, really, centred around trad jazz and Kenny Ball. Okay, take care. And be sure to check in on the next video, because who knows what I'll come up with next. Bye for now.